Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, we'll recap the men's soccer team's 3-0 shutout dealt to the Butler Bulldogs earlier this week.
And the Hoosiers welcome in a Penn State team that has lost 2 in a row. Do the Hoosiers have what it takes to make it 3? We'll find out. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Griffin Gonzalez. Beside me, the man, the myth, the legend, Juan Diego Alvarado. JD, great to be back with you. And loaded week here in Hoosier Sports.
Oh, so much going on in the world of Crim and Crimson sports. And now we're coming down to the final stretches of the fall regular season. So definitely some fun stuff going on down here in Bloomington. Starting with Indiana men's soccer getting another big win on Tuesday when they hosted in-state rival Butler. Our Maya Engel has the story.
The Hoosier Army came out in full force on Tuesday night to watch the number 2 Hoosiers take down in-state rival Butler. The Bulldogs and the Hoosiers have gone into overtime 4 times in the past 6 years. But this year, the Bulldogs struggled offensively and the Hoosiers were the ones to come out with a 3-0 win. It only took IU 5 minutes to get on the board after Andrew Gutman found the head of Justin Renix, who managed to get the ball right over the reach of goalkeeper Gabriel Gergi. 18 minutes later, it was Timmy Mell who buried the header off of a corner kick from Trevor Swartz to extend IU's lead 2-0. Coach Todd Yeagley felt his team struggled in the first half, despite heading into halftime with a 2-goal lead.
I wasn't a happy locker room at half. I mean, the players, our staff, it was like our standards are high, and even though we're winning 2-0, we clearly weren't doing some simple things that we expect every game to do.
The team came out strong in the second half and didn't give the Bulldogs any major chances to score. In the 74th minute, Trevor Swartz collected his second assist on the night after finding Spencer Glass one-on-one with a defender.
I just looked up, no one was really stepping to me, and I saw Spencer making a run, and he was 1v1 with the right back. So I was like, yeah, he'll probably beat him. So I just sent it there, and he did.
Those 2 assists bring Trevor Swartz's tally to 10 on the season, the most of any Hoosier in a single season since 2012. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Maya Engel.
On Friday, Indiana will go on the road to face another conference foe versus Rutgers at 7 p.m.
Well, after a long game last week against Iowa, the Hoosiers come into this week against an opponent that came into this season that many saw as the favorite to win the Big Ten. But now, after losing 2 straight games to Ohio State and Michigan State, the Penn State Nittany Lions desperately need a win to get the doubters back on their side. Jimmy Sutton is the man for everything IU football and is ready to tell us more. Jimmy, take it away.
On Saturday, Indiana will look to bounce back after a blowout loss against Iowa. The Hoosiers take on number 18 Penn State, and for them to come out on top in this one, the defense will have to focus on improvement in the secondary.
You know, we weren't cutting guys loose. There wasn't blown coverages. You know, we lost one-on-one matchups at times, and sometimes they had a couple steps on our guys. You know, but we just got to play the ball better. You know, we look at all personnel options for sure. Don't have unlimited depth to be able to make a bunch of changes, but talked about scheme and be able to do things to help our guys, and there's no question. I mean, we've got to, you know, evaluate everything we're doing.
Over the last 2 games, the Hoosier secondary has given up an absurd 12 touchdowns. The Nittany Lion quarterback Trace McSorley has just 2 interceptions on the season, along with 11 touchdowns. And the Hoosiers will have to stop him from finding KJ Hamler in the end zone. As for offense, Indiana will have to increase their ability to run the ball. Stevie Scott has struggled recently, which slows down their aerial attack as well. And for Indiana to beat a great Penn State team, they will need both offensive attacks to succeed.
Offense comes down to all 11 guys executing. You have one guy that doesn't execute, whether it's in the run game or throw game, whatever it may be, then you're not going to probably have a very good play. You know, defense, a guy can make a mistake, whatever, but the pursuit to the ball in tackling can make up for that. And offense is just the opposite. You can't afford that.
One thing that has stayed apparent for Indiana is their ability to force turnovers, having at least one in each of the 7 games so far this season. So whether it's Ramsey finding success down the field or Scott gaining yardage on the ground, one thing for sure is that forcing turnovers will be key if they want to beat Penn State for the first time since 2013.
You can catch all the action right here at Memorial Stadium Saturday at 3:30 as the Hoosiers try to knock off the Nittany Lions. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Jimmy Sutton.
If you can't make it to the game, you can listen on 99.1 WIUX or watch on ABC.
IU Volleyball is building momentum as they prepare to head down the home stretch of the season. This weekend, they'll host Ohio State and Maryland with a chance to make up ground in the Big Ten.
This is a program that for the last few years hasn't been sniffing postseason stuff. So I think the fact that it's mid-October, going to be late October, and they're still in the mix, where you pull off a few good wins, there's a chance you get into the postseason, and that's uncharted waters for most of these kids, and that's kind of cool. They're in a good place that way. These next 2 matches get us to the halfway point in the Big Ten. If you have success, you can be at 500 in the conference, which is probably a little ahead of where a lot of people thought we would be. We don't win either. We're 3-7, and if you do that again on the back end, you're still at 6 conference wins and probably on the bubble of the tournament. So there's a lot of reason to be excited. I think for Friday, it's the only Indiana sports thing in town. So, it's the only event going on. I think the crowd will be great. I think the town will be great. The student section will be great. I think the energy around the program has been fun.
The IU men's golf team traveled to Westfield over the weekend for the Chatham Hills Intercollegiate. The Hoosiers had 2 individuals finish in the top 10, with Ethan Shepard carding a 6-under to give him sole possession of the 4th, while senior Jake Brown, he went 3-under on the weekend to put him in tie for 6th. Brock Oxenrider finished in a tie for 25th to continue his run of the top 25 finishes to 8 out of the last 9. And freshman Harry Reynolds tied for 18th in his first career appearance in the starting 5. As a team, the Hoosiers finished 4th out of 11 teams with a team score of 853. The Hoosiers will cap off their fall campaign when they head to Alabama on October 27th for the Steelwood Collegiate Invitational.
The IU field hockey team hosted its final home games this year against conference opponents this past weekend. Drew Fry was there to catch the action.
Coming off back-to-back wins for the first time all season, IU hosted Maryland and Rutgers, 2 highly ranked Big Ten opponents, in hopes of keeping their winning streak alive. Unfortunately for the Hoosiers, they could not come up with the offense to compete with these 2 teams.
Yeah, they're pretty fast, so I think just us reading the play a little bit sooner, that they're able to move the ball pretty quick. For us, it's a great learning experience for us. We love to play a top team like that. I think that gets us ready for the postseason. I think, again, at the end of the season, we're playing great Big Ten competition. It's just going to make us better and better for tournament play.
Maryland opened up the weekend by scoring in the first 30 seconds of the game, and IU did not register a single shot as the Hoosiers fell 4-0. Against Rutgers, it was a little more competitive, but IU still lost by the same score.
We need to have a stronger start. Like, getting scored in the first couple seconds was not the best start. We picked it up right after that, but it's just having a better start and playing consistent throughout that. And then on Sunday, I think that we played a really tough game, but it's just the execution piece. We had some corners, we had some good opportunities in the circle, but we really just need that finishing piece.
We thought it could be a winnable game, and it's a bit disappointing that we weren't able to pull out that W for a different seed in the tournament. But I think going in, we just wanted to play our hearts out. It was our last time playing on this field as a game, which was surreal. And our teammates definitely like, let's play for our seniors, like leave it all out there.
The Hoosiers came up short on senior night nonetheless, but they'll have one more shot as they head to University Park, Pennsylvania to take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Drew Fry.
With the Big Ten tournament just around the corner, the Hoosiers will wrap up their regular season with a matchup against Penn State on Friday at 6 p.m.
Well, hey, I need a break, but when we get back, we will recap the IU Penn State women's soccer game from Thursday night.
And the softball team caps off their fall season. You're watching Hoosier Sports Nite.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night. Well, the Cream and Crimson women's soccer team faced off against Penn State Thursday night, and the talented Tamar Scher tells us more.
With a 5-2-1 record, the Indiana Hoosiers have completed their regular season at home. 4-1, Penn State take away the win for this game tonight.
Although defeated, the Hoosiers held up their intensity as they went into the half with 21-ranked Penn State leading only by 1 goal. The game began with a goal for Penn State in the 22nd minute off a penalty kick. Not far behind, senior Abby Allen recorded her 8th goal for the team this season as she brought the Hoosiers back in the 27th minute with a beautiful kick to the back of the net. That was the only successful goal for the Hoosiers as Penn State proceeded to get a goal in the 38th minute. After their goal, a goal was disallowed for the Hoosiers, which could have tied up the game going into the halftime. Coming back from the half, the Nittany Lions were able to net 2 more goals, putting them at a 3-goal advantage by the end of the game. Even though the Hoosiers didn't end their final home game with a win, the score doesn't represent the amount of effort the women put into the game. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Tamar Scher.
The Indiana women's soccer team is in another must-win game at Maryland this Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Indiana softball closed its fall season on a good note and looks promising for the spring. Stephen Walker has the details on the final Hoosier game this semester.
The IU softball team concluded their fall season Friday evening against John A. Logan College. One word to describe what went right for the Hoosiers is everything. The offense was electric from the jump, scoring 10 runs in Game 1, and they followed that up with a 9-run effort in Game 2. The defense was outstanding, not recording a single error on the day, and the pitching staff from top to bottom was just downright filthy. Taylor Asklund got the start in Game 1, and she delivered for the Hoosiers, striking out 2 in the first and 2 in the second. The offense supported her, plating 2 runs in the first and adding 3 more in the third, thanks to a 2 RBI triple by sophomore Grayson Radcliffe. The only trouble came in the 5th when Asklund loaded the bases with no outs. Tara Traynor would replace Asklund, who finished with 6 strikeouts, but she had to wait 17 minutes for a brief rain delay before she could throw a pitch. She eventually got out of the jam with 2 strikeouts in the inning, and she later struck out the side in the 6th. Juvia Davis hit a 2-run blast in the bottom half, sealing the game for the Hoosiers, who would win 10-2. The rain continued to fall over Andy Moore Field as Game 2 got underway, but it didn't faze the offense, who erupted for 3 runs in the first on RBI doubles by juniors Katie Lacefield and Bella Norton. Pitching dominated once again as Natalie Forrest struck out 7 Volunteers over 4 scoreless innings. Josie Wood took over in the 5th and struck out 2 of the 3 batters that she faced. The Hoosiers won the game 9-0, sweeping their final series of the fall season. The Hoosiers look to build on their fall success as they continue preparing for the upcoming season. IU is looking to bounce back from a 3rd-place finish last season in the Big Ten Conference, but if they can hit, pitch, and defend like they did tonight, then they'll be a force to be reckoned with. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Stephen Walker.
Shonda Stanton's squad will not be back in action for a couple of months until next spring, when they will return to the Diamond.
The men and women's cross-country teams competed in the Wisconsin Pre-National this week, and, well, they performed quite well. Catherine Receiver and the IU women finished in 3rd place with a score of 166, giving them their 3rd top 3 finish on the season. Receiver led the team with 15th place finish with a time of 20:33, and teammate Maggie Allen had a strong performance as well, finishing in 20th with a time of 20:41. As for the men, the team ended with a team score of 298, which was good enough for 8th place. IU's top finisher was Kyle Mao with a 16th place finish with a time of 24:07. The Hoosiers will head to Champaign, Illinois this Friday for the Illini Open. This will be their last meet before the Big Ten Championships on October 28th.
With the start of the regular season on the horizon, Indiana men's tennis keeps getting in shape as its fall season continues. On this occasion, 8 Hoosiers participated in the ITA Regional Singles Tournament hosted by the University of Tennessee, where juniors Zach Brodney and Bennett Crane reached the quarterfinals, and senior Antonio Sembellin got in the top 4 of the tournament, reaching the semifinals. The singles tournament will serve the Hoosiers well in their preparation, as up is the Big Ten Individual Championship in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Meanwhile, on the women's regional side of things, again, great performances. Seniors Madison Appel and Natalie Whalen were the IU competitors for the singles competition, finishing with a combined 4-2 on the weekend. Appel picked up wins against opponents from Middle Tennessee State and Cincinnati, while Whalen earned her 2 wins against opponents from Vanderbilt and Middle Tennessee State as well. Up next, IU will head to Tuscaloosa, where they will take part in the Alabama Classic on October 26th.
Well, that does it for our show this week, but don't forget to like our page, IUSTV Sports, on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at IUSTV Sports. Griffin, you told me you're excited for some games this weekend. We got Penn State weekend here in football. What's up with that? You're super excited?
Oh, I'm super excited, Juan. It's going to be a lot of fun, some great football, and we'll see. Hoosiers might get the upset this weekend.
We are all super happy to be receiving the Penn State Nittany Lions here. And for Griffin Gonzalez, I'm Juan Diego Alvarado. We'll see you next week.